Hey there, comic book fans. I thought I would do the solo female comic book cover tag, the tagless tag, since no one's actually being tagged. But of course, with me, you get the indie comics version. So we'll start out first with issue number 7 of Jack Staff, the Dancing Elephant Press one. Later on, it moved to Image, I think. It may have been somewhere else. And this is Becky Burdock, Vampire Reporter. If you've never read Jack Staff, it's a wonderful book that Paul Grist does. I don't think there's been an issue out in a while, but some of it's in trade, some of it's from Image, some of it's from Dancing Elephant. But he has just such a wonderful range of characters, and he does some great things with type and let me open it up just to give you. He does imaginative layouts. He does good, interesting things with type every so often pages, and he does nice covers. I mean, I like how she just disappears into the black there. She's a vampire and a reporter. But there's the first one. I've got 10 altogether. There's the first one for you. Jack Staff number 7 and Becky Burdock, Vampire Reporter. And now for our second cover, we've got Love and Rockets, Volume 2, number 14. Volume 1 was the magazine-sized one. This is the comic book-sized one. And here's a Jaime Hernandez. There's his signature down there. And he's Jaime, not Jamie, in case you didn't know that. He goes with the Spanish pronunciation. And I just love this cover. It's Hopi, just sitting there studying, reading a book, and oh my goodness, is that beautifully done. Jaime Hernandez amazes me with his simplicity of line. He manages to find the one single line you need to say what he has to say. And if you ever see, sometimes the simplest stuff is really the hardest. I have an Art of Jaime Hernandez book, and it shows a lot of his preliminary sketches and stuff. And my God, he puts a ton of work in to get that simple line. I mean, if you were to see how much work, because this looks so effortless. And if you were to see the amount of effort it took to make this look effortless, it'll blow your mind. But just a wonderful, wonderful cover. Just a woman sitting there reading and studying. Good stuff. And to counterpoint that nice pensive comic we had before, now we've got Ms. Tree, issue number 21, shooting a gun and yelling, "Die, die, die." This is by Terry Beattie, and it's from the 80s, 1985. I see a year down there. And Ms. Tree was one, she's a female PI from the 80s, tough woman PI, and I haven't read these in a long, long time. They were never great, but I always liked them. And they were quite different from, the normal 80s superhero fan. But there's a fun cover for you. Just, hanging out, saying, we'll open it up for you just to give you a look at the... Oh, this was the black, white, and blue period. So this was straight up PI detective stuff. And just a nice Terry Beattie. I don't know which way he says his name. I went to school with a Beattie, but the actor is a Beattie. I don't know which way Terry says his name. But either way, Ms. Tree's Thrilling Detective Adventures, number 21, Die, Die, Die. Next, we'll bring you into the modern day with Mind Management, number 22, and Matt Kint and his drawing of his lead character, Maru, and This Is a Pipe. This is a play on a famous surrealist painting by Magritte, who painted a pipe just like this, and put "This is not a pipe" underneath it. Just playing with the idea of what a painting is and isn't. And I guess Matt Kint, for some reason, took a shine to that and put Maru in the pipe position and put "This Is a Pipe" in it. There's the back cover for you, too. That's pretty nice, pretty neat back cover. But Mind Management, one of my favorite comics of recent years. It was probably my favorite comic when it was coming out. I remember saying it just ended this year. It's all out in trade if you can track this down. But if you get it in trade, you don't get these beginning pieces and these end pieces. Well, sometimes there's a comic there, sometimes a letter. Oh, there's the end piece, I think. The end piece is these last, they have a 2-page end piece. I don't think those come in the trade. But anyway, there's the next cover for you. Matt Kindt, Mind Management number 22. This is a pipe. Now we'll go back to 2003 with Meridian number 36. I believe Steve McNiven, the inside artist, did this cover. And how beautiful is that? I mean, wow. I think Steve McNiven went on to do stuff for Marvel. I think he was one of the Captain America guys in the Death of Captain America years. He's probably still there. I'm not even sure since I haven't kept track. But wow, he did a lot of nice, beautiful work for Meridian, which is just a lovely, lovely drawn comic. And this was the cover that caught my eye as I was looking for covers to show. This was the one that caught my eye the most, of course, because I love that just sort of thoughtful look she's got on her face as she looks at the colorful bird. And it's just so beautifully drawn, so illustrative. Look at that lace work in the shirt. But anyway, there we go. Meridian 36. Another of the solo female covers. And for number 6, I knew I had to find a Fatale cover. And this one I really, really like. Fatale number 11, from the same guys who are bringing the Fade out right now. And this was a flashback story in this to this, oh my goodness, I've forgotten her name already, the lead character. Her life, because she's very long-lived, and I think this was her back in the 30s, and just a beautiful, very Hitchcocky in there with the car in the background, the sense of you don't even know why she's in danger. She's got that curled lip, the hat flipped up in a jaunty way, but you know she's got to be running from something. Who's out in the middle of a road in high heels with a suitcase otherwise? But what is she running from? We don't know. That's the mystery of this cover. I don't know if it's an homage to anything, but like I said, it looks Hitchcockian to me. Either way, this was a great series with a lot of good covers, and this is the one I picked to show off because it's a good one. Next up, we'll hit 1987 and the Pander Brothers on Grendel. Look at this one. I think is a wraparound cover. Nice. This is the Christine Spar Grendel, issue 11 of the first Grendel series. Looks like interesting. Looks like this may have been colored with covered pencil or something and shot. It's colored differently than things of the era were. Oh, that may be an air marker. I can tell by the texture in that brown right there. So this may be colored with an air marker, which was kind of like an airbrush, except it used markers. It basically used compressed air to blow the color off of the tip of a marker, and you could sort of use it like an airbrush. But what a fun, the Pander Brothers. I think they just recently did Jacob and something. I think Jacob Pander may have done. It's just the Pander Brothers there. Matt Wagner was writing it. Jacob and somebody Pander. I can't remember the second brother's name. But I think they recently did a project too. I can't remember what it was, but it's on my Amazon wish list. But they did a bunch of issues. I think they did the first Christine Spar run of Grendel, and they were very sort of fashion drawing influenced. Everything was all angular and flowing and a little strange for comics, especially in these days. But this was good stuff. Grendel was like I said, Grendel's always been an interesting character. This is the second Grendel. a woman. And what a fun cover. Gotta like that one. Now we're going to slip back into the cross-gen years for a Greg Land cover. This is the only Greg Land I have, I think, is this Sojourn series. And he did a nice job on it. Look at that. Once again, highly illustrative. CrossGen actually did a lot of female-led series, Meridian and Sojourn being two of them. You can see how illustrative the inside is. Story of an archer on a quest, basically. And, you know, Greg Land has been criticized for relying on photographs too much. But he did a nice job with this series, I have to say. And this is just a wonderful cover. CrossGen also had some of the best coloring of the early 2000s. You can see whoever colored this cover did a nice job. Once again, highly illustrative. I'm not always a fan of highly illustrative art, but when it works, it works. And this is just a fun, you know, Arwen, that's her name, Arwen the Archer. Fun cover, enjoyed a lot. Like I said, this is the only Greg Land I own, and it's good stuff. Next, we've got Carla Speed McNeil and Finder, issue 20, Talisman, part 2 of 3. We get a little girl here who loves books. That's what this. If you ever get it, if you love books, track down Finder Talisman. There's a trade of it. There's a special hardcover edition of it by Dark Horse, but I'm a huge fan of Carla Speed McNeil. I'm a huge fan of Finder, and this one is all about this little girl here in a world, you know, there's some weird future world, and where everything's electronic, mostly everything's electronic, and she loves books. And, you know, a lot of the world doesn't understand, you know, everybody who uses video and jacked in stuff doesn't understand her love for books. But so it's like this whole 3-part story is just kind of a tribute to the love of books, and I just like this cover a whole lot of this young girl just loving her book. She's sitting there smelling the smell of the book with all the magical things that come out of the book behind her. But like I said, if you love books, track down Finder Talisman, because it's a great story. And we'll end things with Strangers in Paradise, number 66, by Terry Moore. You could there's endless solo female covers to pick with Terry Moore. Just, you know, any of the Rachel Rising stuff you can pick. But I decided to go with this one of Francine. Once again, a serene cover of her on the cruise ship, done in blues and blue-greens, looking out off to her side over the horizon. Just Terry Moore and his red noses, and once again, he's one of these guys who can pick the perfect line. He doesn't need a lot of marks to draw what he wants to draw, and here's a perfect example of it. Just nice, pretty drawing. Look at all this lush hair. And I mean, Terry Moore's Terry Moore. He's good. Oh, there's a nice. He knows how to draw pretty women in all different styles. Pretty men, too. He's a very talented guy. Does Rachel Rising now. Did Strangers in Paradise for years. Did this book called Echo, too. But yeah, this is what we'll end with. Little Strangers in Paradise. Let's all go on a cruise ship and relax and soak in the sunshine. Until next time.